Hey guys, what's up? My name is Sam, or Chaotic, and welcome back to another Grand Theft Auto 5 video here on my channel. Now last week I uploaded a video titled 12 Things That You Need to Know About the Vigilante in GTA Online, which if you haven't watched already is definitely worth doing so. There will be a link in the description. But the most asked question I had on that video was, is the Vigilante better than the Rocket Voltic? So in today's video, I'm going to be answering that question and going over the main differences between these two vehicles. So let's go ahead then and get straight into things. Now, as I'm making this video, the Vigilante still hasn't been released yet in GTA Online. It's already in the game and has been since the release of the Smuggler's Run update, but it hasn't been made available yet to buy in online. But according to rumors, it will be available late next week in preparation for the Halloween special events, so look forward to that. Now of course the Rocket Voltic has been in the game now for almost a year. It was added last year in December in the import and export update and was one of the first special vehicles ever added in GTA Online. Now the Vigilante is the third rocket boost vehicle available online, with the Rocket Voltic being the first and the Oppressor being the second. Now, it was last year with the release of the import and export update, the update the Rocket Voltic was in, where the average price per vehicle appeared to be a lot more expensive than any previous update. But the reason for that is because the vehicles in the import and export update weren't just regular vehicles, they now had special abilities. So rather than costing a few $100,000 each, or $1 million on average each, the vehicles were costing a few $1 million each. So the Rocket Voltic can be bought from the Warstock Cash and Carry website for a buy it now price of $3,830,400. Now there is a trade price which can be unlocked when you complete a certain number of import and export missions, so you can buy this at a trade price of $2,880,000, which is just under $1 million of discount. As for the Vigilante though, this vehicle once available will also be available to purchase on the Warstock Cash and Carry website with a buy it now price of $3,750,000. Now unfortunately there won't be a trade price or a discounted price available for this vehicle, there is just one buy it now price, but at $3,750,000 it technically makes this cheaper than the Rocket Voltic to buy at the buy it now prices. Now I'm sure the main question which many of you guys are wondering and want to know the answer to, which one is faster, the Rocket Voltic or the Vigilante? Of course both have the jet engine rocket boost on the back, so surely they should be the same speed. Or is the Rocket Voltic faster because it's a smaller and lighter car, or is the Vigilante just faster because it's the Batmobile? So as you can see, the Rocket Voltic is going first. It is fully upgraded with all the customizations fitted to it, and as you can see, it runs from one side of the runway to the other in 19.344 seconds. But then as for the Vigilante, which is also fully upgraded with all the customizations fitted to it, running the same straight line drag race at the airport, it is actually much faster and completes this in 15.44 seconds. But I'm sure you guys can see exactly why that is in the gameplay straight away. If you can't, well the reason for this is because the Vigilante can use the rocket boost a lot more often. The Rocket Voltic can only use the rocket boost in free mode once every 10 seconds. I know in races it can use it every 3 seconds like the Oppressor and like the Vigilante, but in free mode it's only once every 10 seconds, whereas the Vigilante is once every 3 seconds. Which means it is much faster, it can use the rocket boost over and over again much quicker, which means it's going to beat it in a straight line drag race or in any type of race every time. Now this is also a question which quite a few people have asked me over the past few weeks. Is the Vigilante storable in your garage, or does it have a special storage location? Well, the answer is yes. This can be stored in any of your garages. So you can store the Vigilante in your office garage or your apartment garages if you want to. Thankfully, it is not a Pegasus vehicle or something you can only store in your hangar or a certain type of property. This can be stored like any other personal vehicle in your garages. As for the Rocket Voltic though, unfortunately it's not quite as gifted. The Rocket Voltic cannot be stored in any of your garages. In fact, it requires a special underground bunker in your import and export warehouses for it to be stored. Which means if you want to buy one of these, you have to buy a warehouse and an underground bunker first before you can purchase it, and it can only be stored in the underground bunker, which straight away limits this vehicle, and it makes it more expensive to buy. You'll have to set up an organization and then buy these properties, which can cost a few $1,000,000 each, which limits the number of people that can also buy these. Now yes, both the Rocket Voltic and the Vigilante can be customized, both have upgrade options available for them. The Rocket Voltic though can be taken to any custom shop around the map, taken inside and upgraded. It doesn't have a huge number of upgrades, they're all pretty standard stuff like armor, brake, engine upgrades and stuff like that. You can change the wheels and respray it, but nothing too special. You can't really change the appearance of it like the front bumper, the hood, sills and things like that. But then again, you can't do any of these things with the Vigilante either. Again, you can customize this and you can upgrade things like the engine and the armor on it, but you can't even do that at the custom shop. You can't take it to any regular one around the map. As you can see, when you try to do so, it says you need to have a mobile operation center with a weapon and vehicle workshop if you want to customize this vehicle. So you'll have to purchase an MOC if you haven't got one already if you want to customize the Vigilante in GTA Online, which will make this more expensive to upgrade. Of course, an MOC isn't cheap. It will cost you around about $1,000,000 or so to buy one of those. It isn't required, but it's definitely recommended to get all the best upgrades available for this thing, such as the missile upgrades. So as I'm sure pretty much all of you guys know by now, the Vigilante isn't just a rocket boost car, it's also weaponized too. And this thing has two weapon options. It has machine gun turrets in the front bumper, which is fitted from standard, and you have the option also fit missile launchers as well at your MOC. And the missile launcher on this thing is extremely overpowered. They literally never miss. The chance of missing when you fire and lock on with this thing is maybe 1 in a million. This thing is just crazy overpowered, and it has more rockets than any other weaponized vehicle in the game as well. This has 32 rockets, whereas the Ruler 2000 only has 8, and the Oppressor only has 20. And of course, once you run out, just make your way back into your garage or into your mobile operations center, and it will restock for you. As for the Rocket Voltic though, it doesn't have any weapons on it. It is not a weaponized vehicle. The only special ability it has is of course the rocket boost on the back. But you can of course use your standard weapons like you can in most other vehicles, so you have access to your machine guns, your grenades, sticky bombs and stuff like that, which you don't have access to when you're the driver of the Vigilante. Now finally, the last thing worth comparing between these two vehicles is the ability to shunt or ram other vehicles in free mode. Now unfortunately, the Rocket Voltic, despite having a jet engine rocket boost on the back, is pretty bad when it comes to ramming other vehicles out of the way. As you guys can see in this bit of gameplay in the video right now, when you smash into any vehicle, it pretty much loses all its speed, even when you've just rocket boosted. It's pretty bad when it comes to ramming vehicles and just moving things out of the way in general, and more often than not, when you hit something, you'll lose your direction of travel, spin out, or just crash horribly. So definitely do not look towards the Rocket Voltic for this ability, but the Vigilante is completely the opposite. The Vigilante may even in fact be one of the best shunting vehicles in GTA Online. It will certainly be interesting to put this up against the Insurgent and the Phantom Wedge once it's available in game. But as you guys can see in the gameplay, when you come up against other cars, whether it's just singles or just a whole chain of them, especially the police roadblocks, it just plows straight through them and often throws the car out of the way a few feet in the air. So there we go then guys, those are the main differences then between the Rocket Voltic and the Vigilante in GTA Online. I think it's pretty clear the Vigilante is a way better vehicle. It's certainly miles beyond the ability of the Rocket Voltic. Now in fairness, like I said earlier on, the Rocket Voltic was one of the first special vehicles in GTA Online, so at that stage Rockstar maybe didn't know what they were going to do and how far they were going to go with the special vehicles that had crazy abilities in GTA Online. So since then, Rockstar's had almost a year to improve and refine the special vehicles and their abilities in GTA Online, which is probably why the Vigilante is a much better vehicle than the Rocket Voltic. So if you guys are wondering whether it's worth buying, the answer is yes. The Vigilante is an awesome vehicle and personally is great value for money. It's also loads of fun and it's the Batmobile, so there we go. Well, with that being said then guys, that's pretty much it then for this video, but I of course want to get your thoughts and feelings on what I've said in the video itself, so go ahead and leave a comment. And if you guys have any suggestions for other vehicles you want me to put the Vigilante up against, of course let me know by leaving a comment as well. But if you guys could drop a like on this video, it would of course be greatly appreciated and it helps out a lot. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, make sure you do, because I upload all the latest and the greatest Grand Theft Auto 5 content. So as always guys, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.